best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like a lion, and I ain't even trying, no.
Hello and welcome to Chez Jose, where cooking is beyond measure. We have a wonderful recipe here for you today, which is our broiled line Mediterranean salmon, also with our shrimp. But don't forget, we have our vegetable. Our vegetable is our scalloped asparagus. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to have a lime butter sauce to go with that as well. We have our tahini butter lime sauce that's going on top of our asparagus. And now we're going to tell you all the good ingredients. What is tahini? Tahini is a sesame seed paste that's rich in omega-3 fatty acids. It also helps reduce harmful levels of cholesterol, and it has high amounts of magnesium and phosphorus, which helps improve your bone density. I don't know about you, but a lot of times, like I said, I'm going into my 40s, I hear that snap, crackle, and pop. So tahini is needed in my recipe. Tahini also has 90 calories and 8 grams of fat. As you know, on our keto-friendly diet, we need all the fat that we can handle, as well as our protein. Now, it has protein, fiber, iron, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, and so many more B vitamins. We're going to go ahead and get into this recipe. Now, stay tuned as we go ahead and prepare these ingredients for our wonderful recipe of the evening. Hey guys, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to go ahead and start cutting up my shallots. What you want to do is take this piece off, put it to the side, and you just begin to peel the outer layer. And the reason why I'm using shallots instead of onions, because it gives a more robust flavor, especially when you're cooking with fish. So go ahead and continue to peel the shallot. And you don't have to cry. You know, onions make you cry all the time. So now for my next step, I'm going to go ahead and zest one lime. You're going to go ahead and take one lime, and on the smallest side of your cheese grater, so you just be careful because you can cut your fingers sometimes. You know, you can scrape your knuckles, and you don't want that to happen. I've had that happen one time, and it was one time. That one time was it for me. It hurts. So be very careful because it is, you know, a blade. So with this cooking show, I also want to teach women as well as men, you know, those that haven't had lessons from, you know, parents or just have a hard time learning how to cook. These are little things that you have to keep in mind when you are cooking because it makes the difference and you don't want to hurt yourself. You can't hurt yourself in the kitchen if you're not paying attention. So I'm continuing to go round and round. As you can see, taking off the zest of the lime. And this is going to go on top of our salmon while it's baking in our oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So I think this should be enough. I'm only doing 2 serving portions, one for me and one for my husband, being that the kids are out tonight and yesterday was our anniversary. So this is a special dish that I'm preparing keto style. Now I have my lemon zest. I'm going to go ahead and try to bunch them all together, scrape them up, put them in my little bowl. Then I'm going to go ahead and clean off my cutting board for my next step. Now I'm going to go ahead and start putting together the ingredients for my salmon. Now this is one of the salmons that I purchased from Whole Foods, and it was already marinated in lime and cilantro. But I don't know how long the seafood department had this sitting. So I also want to make sure that I wash this. Even though it's been marinating, I like to wash all of my meat. And the reason why I like to wash all of my meat to get that old taste out of the meat. So I wash it with lemon juice. And if I'm doing poultry, I also wash it with vinegar. But today, we're working with limes and lemons. So I'm going to go ahead and wash this salmon in my sink. Be careful with working with seafood products because you don't want to cross-contaminate, as I always say. You want to keep everything nice, clean, and make sure that your meat is always fresh. So I need to hurry up and go ahead and put this into the oven, because the longer that I let this salmon stay out, you know, the temperature is dropping and we don't want anyone to get sick. I just turned the salmon over, and while I'm washing it, I want to make sure, as you can see, there are scales on the salmon. So if I would have baked it as it said, it would have had scales inside of my recipe dish. So it's very important to check your meat, even if it's already prepared, because they have this seasoned and ready to go. And the worst thing that you can do is punch on a scaly scale. So now what I'm doing is washing this with my lemon juice to make sure I get all of that filthy, you know, salmon juices that's been sitting in here. Normally I get a fresh piece of salmon that's already not cut. I cut it myself, but I wanted to try something different. So now I'm going to go ahead and set this aside, and what we're going to do is cut off that skin. We don't want the skin. Fillet knife, but I can't find it at the time. So what I'm doing, very gently, you don't want to go too deep because you'll start cutting into your salmon meat, but you just go ahead and slightly pull back on the skin as you move your right hand forward, and if you use your left hand, whichever hand that you using to cut. And as you can see, I'm peeling off the salmon skin. There it is. Remove the skin. We're going to go ahead and throw this away. Put that to the side. I'm going to work on the second piece. And this is about 1 pound of salmon. It is cold water that you're washing your salmon in, again, so you don't drop down the temperature. So now that I took off that skin, I'm going to take another lime or lemon and go ahead and clean the other side of the salmon. It's going to be nice and fresh. You want that citrusy taste while you're making that salmon recipe. And I'm just squeezing the lemon juice as I'm running it over the sink and my water. Go ahead and season the salmon. Go ahead and you season. Make sure your sides are seasoned. Turn them on the side. I hate when people have meat that's seasoned at the top and they forget that the side is also a part of the fleshy meat as well. So now, there you go. I rarely measure out my ingredients, but I do have the measurements inside of the title for you. You're going to use, I always shake by hand, because for me, I'm just a soul food kind of girl where love is in the hand. So you just take a few shakes just to coat the salmon where it has that nice red color. But because you're using cayenne pepper, you don't want to use too much because it's going to get spicy. Not too much, but just enough where you can see it's lightly coated, just to give the salmon that little kick. So what I'm going to do next is go ahead and place just a few limes under the salmon so that lemon taste can soak in while it's cooking. And then on top, I'm going to add that lemon zest that we grated up. Just a few sprinkles. Make sure that you cover the whole salmon evenly. Because, like I said on our tutorial yesterday, when we were making our breakfast dish, you want to worry about and be concerned about presentation. Presentation means everything with your food. If your food looks ugly and if your food looks horrible, nobody wants to eat it. So presentation means everything with food, because people eat with the eye. Just like you eat, everybody else eats the same. So therefore you must be careful when plating and cooking your food. So that looks about right. And so far it looks so colorful and so beautiful. I'm all about presentation. So now, before placing my salmon into the oven, I went ahead and got my asparagus, because we're going to go ahead and bake the asparagus in the oven next to the salmon, so we can get all that seafood flavor and also the broth from the salmon into our asparagus tips. Because they're kind of big, I'm going to cut these in half just so I can get the tips of the asparagus. So I'm going to layer these on the side. And I'll cut just a few pieces in case I want them later. So now, everything should be lined up inside of your pan. And I'm going to put a little bit of Himalayan salt. I'm going to put a little bit of Himalayan salt on top of the asparagus as well. All right, time to go in the oven. 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You want to bake this for at least 15 to 20 minutes. And remember to take... Now I'm going to go ahead and add my avocado olive oil. This is going to be about 2 tablespoons. For this next step, now that my avocado oil has heated up, I'm adding the shallots, where I'm going to go ahead and saute the shallots about 1 to 2 seconds, just to go ahead and give it a little brown. I have my whisk. Purchased these at the dollar store. You never want to use something metal because you'll tear up your pan and it scratches it. So you have plenty of things that you can use. These shallots are looking absolutely wonderful. Trying to keep them in the center so my pan won't start burning. It cooks very quickly. Ooh, it smells wonderful. It's absolutely, smells delightful. Now I'm going to go ahead and add those shrimp. I have some large shrimp I got from the seafood department. I don't need much because this dish doesn't require a lot. They were actually $1.69 for 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of shrimp that me and my husband can share. I have my 2 extra large scallops. Going to place that in my pan as well. I want some oil so it can fry. So now what I've done, I went ahead and placed the lid over my shrimp with my scallops. Very quickly I'm going to take my scallops out because the scallops cook very fast. And I don't want to overcook them where they get tough. So the shrimp looks like it still needs a little cooking. So what I'm going to do now is cover this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go ahead, take the lid off. Now what I'm going to do is add my Mediterranean salad dressing. One thing that I learned about cooking at Aprons here at Publix here in Miami, Florida, they use a lot of salad dressings. Why? Because all of the ingredients are already inside. You have your oil, you have your garlic, you have your parsley, you have all your Mediterranean herbs and seasonings. I could just add it to the pot. That saves me time and money. So now that I sauteed my shallots and my shrimp, I'm going to pour about 1/4 of a cup. You hear that sound? Oh my God. Woo! This looks and sounds absolutely great. My shrimp is turning orange pink. That means it's almost time for it to end. And now I'm going to go ahead and make my lemon butter sauce. Today I'm using the Earth Balance, which is original. Take about 1 teaspoon. Add that into the pan. Let me place this to the side. And turn down the heat because it's starting to brown very quickly. I'm going to take out my shrimp because I don't want the shrimp to be rubbery. And we place that next to the scallops. Remember, everything is about presentation. You still want the shrimp to look nice, full shape. You know the shrimp already when they start to curl. And it has a pink color or orange color. But yet they're not burnt. Presentation, presentation. We teach ladies to be ladies, so your food got to be cute too. So go ahead and take that butter. Start scraping the bottom of your pan for all of those seasonings. While we were on a break, I went ahead and put just a little bit of salt and pepper on my shrimp. Now that I have that butter, I'm going to add a few pieces of chopped dill. So now I'm ready for another step, and that's the step to make my tahini drizzle to go over my asparagus. I've never had tahini sauce before, and this was the first time. I just opened it up, and it's very nutty, very tasty. Tastes a lot like peanuts. I looked at the ingredients, and I'm like, wow. It's mechanically hulled sesame seeds. It just tastes like nuts. A girl can't get enough nuts, right? So, I'm just saying. Give it 2 more tablespoons. Oh my God, it looks absolutely beautiful and amazing. Look at that presentation for you. Come on, cameraman, they gotta take a look at this. It is beautiful. My salmon is lightly, had that light crisp on top. Has a little bit more. You can go ahead and put a little bit more. My husband eats a lot. He likes my cooking, so I'm gonna add a little bit more for him. Take one of your salmon pieces, put it on the plate. I'm gonna take one of the lemons that I was baking with, put that right on top. Add one of the shrimp that we sauteed. Then I'm gonna add the scallop. And then I'm gonna go ahead. I have a nice final presentation for you. And here's our final product, our asparagus with lime butter sauce, Mediterranean style, with our tahini sauce over our asparagus. Here's your final product. Come on, cameraman, bring it a little closer. Bring it in. That's Cooking with Shay Jose. We're taking food beyond measures.
Energize, realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I can spend it on you, you can spend it on me. I can say you'll be blown away, but the change you see in me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life. I put the good stuff in. I put the good stuff in, yeah. I put the good stuff in, I put the good stuff in every day. I'm gonna be the best version of me. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, roar like